This is my God voice. Are we on? Oops. Hi there, Reverend Mike McMorrow coming to you from the sanctuary. Here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Granada Hills, California, we're in the North San Fernando Valley. And this is a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. And tonight we have Scott joining us for our presider. And we have the lads in the back, Renzen and Evan, going to hold down the fort. And you know, we are meeting in person, so if you're local, you should come on in. You know, it's, there's no one here, so, 6 foot is no big deal. All right, and I'm going to ask Renzen to put the air on for us too. So we're just going to start by taking a breath and releasing and allowing ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. That fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Beverly lights the first candle, it is for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and within our own hearts. And as Beverly lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in
This evening, into this special space and time. As we enter this evening into this special space and time, let us turn within and feel the presence of our oneness with the Creator of all there is. God, the Father, the Creator, the essence of life. This oneness that I hold steadfastly with the Creator. I know this to be true for each and every one of you. There is so much going on in my heart. It is heavy. With the feelings, the energy of my brothers and sisters that are suffering, that are feeling loss, that are needing comfort, protection. I stand here before us speaking to myself and letting it out to each and every one of you that we are united. We are together because we are a unit. And this uniqueness in unit that brings us together is the one light, the oneness, God Almighty. I say a special prayer for all of us, near and far, that we are protected and we will overcome. I give thanks to Father, Mother, God for the truth of this knowledge, and I release it to the high law, knowing that it will be divinely and completely fulfilled. Join me in saying and affirming, and so it is. Amen. That's fine. We are on Wednesday. I hope you all can still hear me. I have difficulties, and then I overcome them, and then I get more. But we're going to hold it still and just let it be where it is. My talk tonight is on the lines of steps to inner peace. Seems like every week, if not every other week, there is something going on that is taking me over the edge, and I'm having to rethink, regroup, and just hold on and to what's really is mine to do. Do I need to absorb and be so emotionally adrenalized with the things that I hear? The shootings is just unbelievable, and my heart goes out, as each and every one of us do, I know. The homeless situation, we think and see, oh, there is a way, but we cannot know when and how it's going to come about. And then we look at ourselves closely, at the cost of living. Am I making enough? Is this enough? And then there's global warming, the things that we just, if it's not right in our face, we tend to not really acknowledge it or know it. But at the end of the day, there is some things that do touch us and wear on us. We find it hard to sleep at night, or we're short with family members, and then we have to stop and think, breathe, and think about steps to inner peace, peace for ourselves. If we're at peace with ourselves, it stands to reason that it will flow outward. That is what we're taught with Science of Mind. We are examples. So we look for steps to inner peace. Peace is a state of alignment with oneness. When we are at peace, there is no discord or enmity, no fear or confusion. Rather, there is an enhanced awareness that all is God, all is love, and there is a deep knowing that we are each part of a universal order and harmony that always prevails. We each are a part of a universal order and harmony which always prevails. That's the oneness that we have. That's the protection, the assurance that we as human beings, loving, trusting, we have this, and we can turn within to find this inner peace, to revitalize ourselves, recharge. Practicing mindfulness in each moment of our daily lives, we can cultivate our own peace with clarity, determination, and patience. The fruits of meditation. We can sustain a life of action and be real instruments of peace. Real strength is not in power, money, or weapons, but in deep inner peace. Just breathe that in. Let's know it, understand it. Let's be aware of it. Peace is what is needed in today's world. A state of alignment with oneness. That is available to each and every one of us. We don't have to go searching for it. We just need to breathe in, letting what does no longer serve us roll away, and just be there. When I think of peace, I think of someone that means over the years I've come to enjoy reading and thinking on her life journey, and that's Mildred Lissette Norman, better known as Peace Pilgrim. I would like to share three, there are many quotes, but three that really resonate with me. And I'd like to share these three quotes knowing that they bring peace and can give peace. When you find peace within yourself, you become the kind of person who can live at peace with others. So true. That is so needed. This is the way of peace. Overcome evil with good, falsehood with truth, and hatred with love. Let's just think on that. That means so much and is so true. If you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. So profound. Peace be with you. Peace I leave with you. Love, peace, and harmony. Let's be the light, the example. Steps for inner peace. I do have a few announcements I'd like to share with you at this time. Sunday, May 29th, if you would like prayer support, you can find a practitioner online at cslgh.org. Zoom fellowship meetings at 11:45 a.m. Bereavement support group online. The potluck breakfast with Reverend, Sunday, June 5th, 11 a.m. Sign up for what you would like to bring. There's going to be a friend-raising party Saturday, June 11th at 5 p.m. RSVP for location information. Look for invitation on constant contacts, our email. The Essentials Ernest Home online with Dr. Reverend Marine, Tuesday, June 14th at 6 p.m. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you at the Sunday services online, but especially in person. Please do consider visiting us. Thank you for your time. Peace and love.
Yeah, so that friend raiser thing, make sure you sign up for that. So we're trying to get folks together in a social setting because apparently it's difficult for people to get out of the house by 10:30. Just saying. So this is 5 o'clock on Saturday night. And if you bring your beer or wine, you can drink it there too. Anyway, come join us. We'd love to see you, particularly those who have not made it in. It'd be just a chance to socialize and to say hello. And Miriam, you're certainly welcome to join us if you care to. And the lads in the back as well. So everyone is welcome. And I appreciate, and this is not a criticism, I appreciate the kind of the confusion and the overwhelm that you were sharing about everything that's going on, right? And how do we make sense of it all? And I don't know that we can because it's senseless. Right? So there are the things that are difficult to address, or we have to solicit the participation of billions of people, right? Like climate change. And it seems like of all the things that are out there that we are contending with, gun violence should be the simplest. But apparently it's not. And it's so devastating when it's children who are shot. And I was looking at the faces, like many of you, and imagining, my own son when he was 10, as many of you, who have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. And then we talk about this power for good in the universe available to everyone, and we can use it. And it can ring hollow. But it doesn't mean it's not still true. So in religious science, of course, we teach that sin, even this sin of mass murder, is not an offense against God, but rather an error in thought. Even that one's kind of hard to get your head around, right? This is because it's difficult to think beyond the confines of this relative world, of this world of effect in which we live, which has challenge and struggle within it. Now, the thing is that if we were all atheists, that would be one thing, and we would have good reason to be all depressed and look how awful it is. But the fact is that we are people of faith. And faith is kind of a funny thing. When you're a person of faith, you're a person of faith in the good times and in the bad times, right? Because it's just always there. We can't help but know that God is in the mix in some kind of crazy, cosmic way. So whether it's climate change or COVID fallout or economic turmoil or divorce or loss of a job or mass murder, right? That it is up to each one of us as people of faith to return to the truth underneath all of it. And that, we can lean into each other in doing that by doing things like this. To somehow find a way to allow ourselves to be moved, to take the pain and trauma within the heart and to be moved to the center of all that is. To recognize and know that underneath all of this, that there is a power of presence, the wellspring of love itself at play. And to identify that which is ours to do and to stop pussyfooting around and start doing it. There are actions to take. We can't do anything for those who have already gone. But you know the actions that need to be taken. Right? And we can't, our spiritual practice is not a cosmic hole to stick our head in the sand. Right? So whether it's in all the ways that we see injustice in the world. If we are moved to do something about it, then we must do something about it. And if we don't feel able to do it, then we know that this power and presence with which we are experimenting with to get stuff and things is the same power and presence that is going to propel us into ways of living both as individuals and collectively as a human family to create a world in which harmony and peace and mutual respect is available for all, where we have the resources available to where children, I mean, I know legally, guys, I'm now 65, an 18-year-old is a child in my eyes, you know? That he thought this was a good idea, and not just him, right? I mean, all of these shooters are young males. There's a breakdown somewhere. So, but there is that which has all power. And so tonight, I went looking for a reading in this 365 and see if this fits. That Holmes writes, so this is out of August, I overcome hate by the recognition of love. We're not doing this in some kind of a spiritual bypass, but rather as a recognition of truth, that we overcome hate by the recognition of love. There is but one presence in the universe, and since it, large I it, since it is in and through everything, it must be in and through you and everyone else too. This presence manifests itself in and through all forms, all people, all conditions. This presence is life itself. Its nature is love and givingness. Negation, the negative things of life, may be an experience and a fact, but it can never be an ultimate truth. Right? So another way of saying that is the crappy things that happen in life may be an experience and a fact, but it can never be an ultimate truth. Life cannot operate against itself. Always the negative is overcome by the positive. Good cannot fail to overcome evil. Negative experiences may seem to exist for a brief moment, but truth exists forever. The consciousness of good must overcome the appearance of evil. Finally, good will obliterate everything unlike itself. Good will obliterate everything unlike itself, even as the sun dissolves the mist. So there's some great imagery right there. And we're just knowing that the love of the Eternal One operating in, through, and as us is like a radiant sun dissolving the mist of ignorance. So say this, I refuse to contemplate evil as a power. I know that it will flee from me. It dissolves and disappears in the light of love. I know that hate cannot exist where love is recognized. I turn the searchlight of truth upon every manifestation of good, and it is complete. Love makes the way clear before me. I am guided into an ever-widening experience of living. My every thought and act is an expression of the goodness that flows from life. So it's time for us to, saddle up and pray up. Because we cannot help anyone if we get down in the muck and mire within our own consciousness. So it's important to feel the feelings, to grieve the loss, to empathize and connect with the loss of the families involved. But you know, this gun violence thing is going on like even right now. It's going on all the time. It's an epidemic in our country. And it's getting the attention because it's children this time. Just saying. So, let's just focus our meditation tonight on this notion that the love of the divine is dissipating the mist of ignorance. That the love of the divine is raising and healing our own heart. Because we understand that we cannot give away something we haven't got. So tonight, we heal the heaviness within our own heart. We allow our vibration to be raised to a sense of deep compassion for all, including ourselves. So let's just start by taking a deep conscious breath and release. Now we're going to take a really deep breath the next time, and we're just going to release all the energetic around any sense of overwhelm we might be feeling around anything in our life right now. Taking a deep breath all the way, and we're going to let it all the way out. That breath is all new, fresh breath. We're shaking the dust from our sandals as we step into this new moment, this eternal now moment. So we are just releasing any sense of angst, pressure, anger, frustration. We can go back to it later if we want, but in this moment, take a deep breath and release all that. Bring our attention to the breath. And we know that with every breath is the allness of God, commingling with the allness of God within the body temple of each one of us. That we are connected in the allness of God, in consciousness, each with the other, heart to heart, one mind. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the heart of your faithful. That your perpetual light within is obliterating any sense of discord or discontent. So we follow the breath in the the silence for about 10 minutes. Taking a deep breath and releasing. attention back into the room, staying with the breath. We bring our attention to the heart. We identify those places of hurt, and we imagine ourselves cleaning house within. So we take that stone of hurt and place it in a bag. Identify that stone of outrage. Put that in the bag. Any sense of hurt or trauma of any kind, whatever that looks like, whatever that mucky goo is, we're just going to toss all of this stuff into this mental bag that we're creating right now. When we're complete, we pick up this bag and we take out the trash. We set it outside of ourselves. And now with this bit of house cleaning, we return our attention back to the heart, allowing the flame of the divine now to shine in all of its radiance. A flame that illuminates rather than destroys. We are allowing this flame to expand, to grow into this ball of light right in the heart center of our chest, and that with each breath we're feeling it expand now. Our heart is opening up now in a new way. Extending now beyond our torso, our body torso, from side to side, front to back, top to bottom, that we're now sitting in this globe of radiant, healing, golden light. We are feeling it now energize every aspect of the body temple. That we feel the energetic of the allness of the divine filling every space between every atom, every molecule, every cell, every organ, every muscle, every bone, every sinew, every neuron. And the spaces between are energized with the allness of the divine, with this golden light that is now extending now beyond our body, that we are now have created now this field of light and love. And we see this bag that we've set outside of ourselves that is just dissolving away. Breath by breath, it's just dissolving and blown away. It is obliterated into the nothingness from which it came. And so now with this cleansed consciousness of the individual now, we are now joined together in common unity, knowing a higher truth, calling forth this highest truth that we know to be the living Spirit back of all things. That we are raising the folks in Texas feeling the pain and suffering of loss and tragedy. And we are knowing that their spirit and their hearts are being raised even now, and in somehow finding solace and comfort. That we are knowing further that this infinite power and presence, for which we call on now, is raising the consciousness of all of our policy makers of all stripes, in all communities, to find ways to shift and lift the tendency of the thinking that has up until now kept things gridlocked and ineffective, that we are now knowing that this infinite power and presence, this one light of the divine, is now infusing all of it, making the crooked ways straight, finding ways of agreement and peaceful abiding. That our communities now are crossing into a threshold of calling God's imperial rule here on earth, that we fashion this life here on this earth plane to where the Spirit is welcomed and resides and rests and welcomed. So we know that people are finding ways to be soft and vulnerable and connected and committed to each other in new ways. That this is the infinite, that within this consciousness there are infinite possibilities of peace, of resolution, of restoration, that we know for those troubled souls turning to violence as they see no other solution, that we know that even now the creative impulse of life is infusing them with ways of thinking and being that are raising their lives fully and completely into ways that are peaceful, that express loving kindness and compassion for themselves, and most importantly, for all beings. That the hard hearts are softened now, including the callous places in our own heart. That we allow ourselves to feel a sense of connectedness and ways to courageously express unconditional love in ways that are easy and obvious. That we know further that there is an infinite power and presence backing this word. So we take a deep conscious breath, releasing these ideas and your own cares, concerns, intentions, knowingness. That we are releasing it to the aspect of the one mind of the divine, that knows only to say yes, an unconditional expression of love that appears to be impersonal, that knows only to say yes as a law of its own being. So we release this word in confidence, knowing that prayer counts, that prayer works. We release it now with deep gratitude and confidence, knowing it is done, knowing it is so. Together we acknowledge this by saying, so it is. So thank you for joining us tonight. I also want to give a shout out to Reverend Nancy and Reverend Nicole, who spoke for me. I had to go down. I didn't have to. I got to go down to Redondo Beach and speak for Dr. Moira last week at the Redondo Center. So they send their regards and their love to all of you. And so this week, I will be leading a retreat up at Lake Arrowhead with that group and about 7 of our own members. So it's really important that you get in this Sunday and support Dr. Maureen at the 10:30 and our animal kinship minister, Reverend Kathy Lyons, for the 9 o'clock. And when you give her 20 minutes, Reverend Kathy can be not only effective, but kind of funny too. So, of course, Dr. Maureen is wonderful. So please, make it in here. Don't be shy. Come have a cup of coffee afterwards. I will see you next Wednesday, and then I will be back for some time. So until then, peace and blessings. Love to you all. Bye now.